Hello aspirants, looking at current affairs for 28th Feb. The news items that we have picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 13. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, India-China seek common ground on Afghanistan. So this is regarding the recent meeting of Indian Foreign Secretary Mr. Jaishankar with his Chinese counterpart. So here it was called the restructured strategic dialogue. So in this, there are differences between India and China. Those stay, but then other developments have taken place. So the differences which are there, we have been seeing in news quite often now, is one regarding the membership of nuclear suppliers group. So India wants to be a member of NSG, but China is bringing in its differences here. It wants Pakistan also to become a member of NSG if India becomes a member. So its developments or its steps which it takes are in that direction. It says that if a non-NPT means a member who has not signed the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty. So if a non-NPT member wants to become a member of NSG, non-NPT signatory wants to become a member of NSG, then there should be clear procedure that on what basis he is admitted. So that Pakistan can also be admitted. So that is the basis on which it is arguing at NSG. And with respect to the second issue is about Masood Azhar. He been declared as a terrorist on the UN Security Council Committee, 1267 committee. We have discussed this quite often now. Here China had put technical hold. That actually resolution expired. Now another resolution has been brought in by USA. So it has been proposed by USA, supported by UK and France. These three permanent members in UN Security Council. Still China has put a hold on it. So that is there. Then another one is regarding the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So this CPEC is passing through POK, Pakistan Occupied Kashmir. So India considers it as its integral part. So it's a disputed territory. So how can a corridor, this infrastructure project, pass through this route? So CPC also connects to Gadar Port from Kashgar in China to Gadar Port in Pakistan. So this is also a point of protest by India. So that is also there. So these differences still remain, but now China has gone ahead and we have found common ground on Afghanistan. So here in Afghanistan, even there are discussions on having joint projects also. So even China has appreciated India's role in Afghanistan. So those are the developments. It has appreciated the Salma Dam in Herat province in Afghanistan, which we have developed also. So that is there. You can see the 5 points which were discussed during this meet are highlighted here. So this is the strategic dialogue. 5 subgroups were. One is on Afghanistan, then nuclear issues, UN's 1267 designation committee, that is Masood Azhar, and bilateral issues between India and China, and consular and visa matters, people to people ties. So these were the 5 areas, and further developments which we can expect, that is highlighted here. So on this 1267 designation committee, the technical hold which China has put on Masood Azhar's inclusion here, that will lapse in July 2017. So then again it will be in news. Regarding the NSG membership, the nuclear issue here, so this India's membership issue will be taken up again by NSG at its session in June 2017. So again that time it will be in news. And regarding the CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which passes through Pakistan occupied Kashmir, that is why India is protesting. This will be again in news because in May 2017 there will be a global conference on Belt and Road Initiative. So this Belt and Road Initiative is also called OBOR, One Belt One Road Initiative. So this initiative comprises of various infrastructure projects in this region, which also includes China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So OBOR comprises of 2 major aspects: Silk Road Economic Belt and Maritime, 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. So means maritime road will also be developed, and also maritime route, and also the Silk Road Economic Belt. So in these regions, the old Silk Road being revived is the idea of China. So actually infrastructure projects in these adjoining countries are being developed now in Asia. So this session, this global conference again will bring CPC issue in news. So that is the development so far and what future holds now between India and China. The issues which will crop up again. Then the next news item is global studies on India's air quality flawed, says CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board. So there have been reports by World Health Organization to international bodies have given their reports where they say that the number of deaths due to air pollution in India is quite high. So globally also it's high. So it says that air pollution killed 1.1 million Indians in 2015. So these claims are being refuted by the Environment Ministry, by the Government of India. The Central Pollution Control Board, which is an organization under Environment Ministry, it has said that this report is actually flawed. The method which has been used, that is not scientific. So that is what it is highlighting in this article. So it says that international studies linking air quality in India to disease and death are flawed, means are wrong. So what it says is actually no Indian agency is calculating this. It's not quantifying that how many deaths are taking place due to air pollution in India. So there's no data by Indian agency as such. And World Health Organization, how did it come up with these numbers? It says that it had the figures of particulate matter emissions which are there taken by various monitoring stations. So these monitoring stations, all of them do not give particulate matter data for all. So particulate matter 10 data, 10 PM10 and PM2.5, you should understand that these are very low. So 2.5 is smaller than PM10 also. So you can see this is, if this is a strand of hair, the human hair, then this is the PM10 dimension. You can see it's less than 10 micrometers, the dimension here, diameter. And PM2.5, you can see this is less than 2.5 micrometers in diameter. So such small particulate matters. So these particulate matter monitoring stations which are there in India, all of them do not give both the figures. Some of them give only PM10 figures. So then what World Health Organization has done, it is calculated the average, annual average of PM10, and on the basis of that figure, it has calculated how much of PM2.5 must be emitting. So PM2.5 is much more hazardous. PM10 is also not good for the human health, but PM2.5 is hazardous. It goes deep inside the lungs and can cause serious illness. So CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, says that what method World Health Organization has used for getting the PM2.5 figures is that it used 75% conversion. That if PM10, how much ever is emitted, 75% of it will be PM2.5. But CPCB says that if air quality parameters in Delhi are also considered, it is seen that PM2.5 can be only 8% of PM10 also in some cases, and in other cases it can be 86% of PM10. So there is no fixed figure which you can add up. So how has World Health Organization used this? Even if you take the average of 8 and 86, it comes out to 47. So these points have been highlighted that the way World Health Organization has come up with its figures is flawed. That's it. So also India doesn't have any certification agency that checks the quality of air pollution monitors, that whether these monitors are functioning effectively or not. Particulate matter levels in the city are also influenced by weather. So model which is simulated to weather patterns in Europe or in Western countries, they cannot be extrapolated to India. So that's what it is saying, that those models and those calculations and those conversion levels you cannot apply to India, because weather conditions will also influence how it actually takes into effect. So that is why it is saying that this is flawed. Earlier we had also seen that they had said, the Environment Ministry had said that we'll come out with our own data about how many deaths take place. So it is challenging this assertion being made by World Health Organization that 1.1 million Indians died in 2015 due to air pollution. So that is only at statistical level the fight goes on. What actually is required is tackling pollution, having proper calculations done, having actually monitoring stations in place so that we actually come to know how much of pollution is there and how many deaths are taking place, and of course countering them as well. Preventive measures being brought in. The next news item is Act East policy promoting ties with Asia Pacific region. So this is regarding India's Act East policy. So earlier it was called Look East policy, which the present government has renamed as and reframed as Act East policy. So here presently Minister of Commerce is highlighting India's age-old ties with these East Asian nations, which are also members of ASEAN. And India-ASEAN relations are also strong. ASEAN is ASEAN, ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So presently the 4 nations highlighted are Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Vietnam. So they are called CLMV. So these 4 nations, the trade relations of India and these nations have also increased 10 times in the last 10 years. So that is also good. Plus also the present Commerce Minister is highlighting that Indian organizations, manufacturers can establish businesses in these countries and take advantage of generalized system of preferences, GSP. So what is this GSP? That is a system of preferences which are provided by developed countries like USA and European countries. So US, European Union have this generalized system of preferences in their laws. So under this, they do not impose very high taxes. Duties are not high on imports from these least developed countries. So Myanmar is amongst them. So Myanmar, if there is any import from Myanmar taking place in these developed countries, the export duty would be very low. So 0 or very less. So that is the generalized system of preferences. So if Indian manufacturers also establish their business in these countries, then they can also get benefit of these GSPs. So that is also being spoken on by the Commerce Minister. So that is here. Then another, with respect to these countries, with Myanmar, we also have this project, infrastructure project. This is Kaladan Multimodal Transport Project. So what is this Kaladan? It has been going on for long now. It was first mooted. The idea was mooted in around 2003. So work has started on projects under this. So this will be connecting Kolkata with Sitwe Seaport in Myanmar. So we can look at the map to here. So this is the project. So this is Kolkata here. This will be connected to India. Actually, this is the Sitwe port in Myanmar. So it's multimodal transit project, means a part of it. First connection is to the sea route. This is sea route is around 539-kilometer route from Kolkata port to Sitwe port in Myanmar. Then after that, it's multimodal, means different modes of transport be used. So sea route, then inland waterways would be used. So this is Kaladan River. So another waterway will be used reaching up to this point, and then a highway will take it up to Mizoram in India. So this is the route which has been proposed. So presently it's Bangladesh up here. So actually to go from West Bengal to the northeastern point here in Mizoram, we have to go up and passing through the Chicken's Neck. We have to come down to northeast. So because Bangladesh does not give us a direct land transit, so this is the alternate route which was proposed in 2003, and this is still being continued. Work is going on under this project. So that is there. Then another, a 500 crore rupees project development fund has been cleared by Union Cabinet. So this proposal has been cleared. This should be established to increase economic presence of India in these CLMV countries, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Vietnam. So this will act as a gateway for market access to China and EU. So this is important land trade route, also sea route which passes through this. So of course importance is here of regional connectivity, reduction in transaction cost of trade, means while moving, if the transaction cost is higher than the cost of the product, then the trade becomes unviable. So reducing the transaction cost is important. Skill development. So these are all important. Once these takes place, then India and these CLMV countries trade and tourism will reach its potential. Further, regarding the Act East policy, so here the major emphasis is on Northeast India. So that has been the priority under this. As we saw in the Kaladan multimodal transit project also, its connectivity to Northeast highlighted. Another one is also India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway project. So this has also been proposed and has been undertaken. It's been a decade since it's been in news. So this is from More to Mysore. So More is in Manipur in India, passing through Myanmar. So India, Myanmar, Thailand. So this, it passes through Mandale, Yangon in Myanmar, then goes to Mysore in Thailand. So this is a trilateral highway project proposed. Then regarding India-ASEAN relations. So ASEAN is where major focus in Act East is. So Association of Southeast Asian Nations. The ASEAN nations are also shown here. You can see these are the 10 member nations of ASEAN. So here you have Myanmar, Thailand, these CLMV are here. Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam and Myanmar. So Thailand is developing. These are the least developed or less developed countries. Then comes Malaysia and Indonesia, Singapore, Brunei here and Philippines. So these are the members of ASEAN, 10 members of ASEAN. So India-ASEAN relations, we have already signed an agreement on trade in services and investments. An agreement on goods is under discussion. So this has come into force too for India and 7 Asian countries from 1st July 2015. So for other countries, CLMV, there is still provision. So this is also there. So we have our cooperation here running strong. Also, there are other organizations too apart from ASEAN here. Even with respect to ASEAN, there is another called ASEAN Regional Forum. So this ARF comprises of 27 nations, in which India is also a member, including ASEAN. So then there is East Asia Summit. So when you say ASEAN plus 3, it means ASEAN 10 members plus China, Japan and South Korea. And when you say ASEAN plus 6, so that is East Asia Summit. So these summits are also held along with ASEAN. So this is ASEAN plus 6, means ASEAN plus 3 plus Australia, New Zealand and India. So in East Asia Summit also India is a member. So here also we have membership plus other organizations apart from ASEAN are BIMSTEC, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. So this BIMSTEC is also comprising of Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and then other members have also been added to it. So this is also East Asia. Nepal, Bhutan, other countries also became members here. So this is BIMSTEC, Mekong Ganga Cooperation. So this is an organization named after two important rivers, Mekong and Ganga. So Ganga River is important for India. So India is a member here. And Mekong River, it passes through all 4 CLMV nations and also through Thailand. Means Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Myanmar and also Thailand. It forms a border river in Myanmar and Thailand. So this is a river. It actually starts from China. It flows from China into Myanmar. But China is not a member in Mekong Ganga Cooperation. So it comprises of 6 members. CLMV, Thailand and India. So that is there. So these are the organizations which are also important with reference to Act East policy of India. So we are working with these organizations. Then also historical linkage is also shown here. So Buddhism, Hinduism links are also there here in these East Asian nations. So Buddhism spread from India to these nations, Sri Lanka, and even these nations have Buddhism stronghold. Also Hinduism has spread to these nations. So that is also there. Many Hindu temples are also present in these nations. Then the next news item is Meghalaya's root bridge nominated for award. So this is a root bridge, means the hanging roots of this aerial roots they are called, means roots which are not underground, which are above in the air. So these aerial roots of rubber tree and other trees which are there, this Ficus elastica. So these roots are used or modified in such a way, they are made to move in such a way that they form bridges over the water bodies. So this is present in Meghalaya. So these Meghalaya's root bridges, these are called grassroots innovations and outstanding traditional knowledge. So they have been nominated for this prestigious NIF award, National Innovation Foundation Award. So that is the news. This has already been asked by UPSC as such. So this is a recognition for these communities here in this region which are engaged in growing these living root bridges. That is it. So you can see this is the question in prelims 2015. In a particular region in India, the local people train the roots of living trees into robust bridges across the streams. As the time passes, these bridges become stronger. These unique living root bridges are found in and 4 states are named. So, which among the following is correct? This is 2015 MCQ in UPSC prelims. So, answer here is Meghalaya. Then the next news item is Supreme Court agrees to hear bar dance girls' plea. So the Supreme Court is hearing a petition filed by women working in Maharashtra's bars. They are dancers and waitresses. So the Maharashtra government had come up with a law which barred all these bar dancers. So they were not allowed. So then the Supreme Court in its judgment in 2015 actually reversed that order of the state government and ordered that bars should be thrown open again and dance is a profession. So it is classified as a profession. There cannot be any restriction on it. So after the Supreme Court judgment in 2015, the Maharashtra government came up with a new act. This is called Maharashtra Prohibition of Obscene Dance in Hotels, Restaurants and Bar Rooms and Protection of Dignity of Women Working Therein Act of 2016. So this is said to be a way in which they are saying that on what basis are they defining obscene. So obscenity in dance. What is this explicit definition of obscenity? That has been challenged in the Supreme Court by these petitioners. So now the bench has already said that this dances actually should be considered as a profession. So what is this whole act about? Is it trying to circumvent only the judgment? So that is the purpose, or is there any substance in it, will be looked into by the Supreme Court now. The next news item is impossible to stop upload of vulgar content, Google. So this was a Supreme Court case which is going on. We have seen this. So it was a PIL filed by this NGO, Prajwala, highlighting the increasing number of instances of sexual assault videos of women and children being uploaded on the internet. So here the Supreme Court had asked Google and these search engines and the government also, if there is a way, internet service providers, etc., that if there is a way to stop upload of such content, because once it is uploaded, it already compromises the dignity and attacks the dignity of these individuals involved. So is there a way that it can be prevented to be uploaded? Because once uploaded, it's taken down within some time, but in that time frame too, the damage has already been done. So that is why Supreme Court is asking, is there a way to prevent its upload? So on this, the Google has now responded. It says that it is impossible to stop upload. They say it is something like preventing a murder. So you can't prevent a murder, but after the murder has taken place, you can take action, arrest. It says here, unless it is a repeat offender, like a serial killer. So in that case, it is giving that analogy. So in that case, like you can take action, keep track on it, steps can be taken. Otherwise, it is impossible. You cannot stop upload. So there is no way technology that this can be done, has been the response of Google right now. Then the next news item is India, a lab to learn about what works in development. So this is the World Bank CEO. She says that India has made achievements in health and education, and if that achievements are made, that contributes to achieving even sustainable development goals. So its economic growth of India influences the global growth. So that is the huge population here and substantial chunk which India, weightage which India carries. And she says that India is like a laboratory. You can understand from here that what in development, what works and what does not work. You can find new ways to collaborate through this. And also another aspect which was there under consideration was regarding the Indus Water Treaty. So Indus Water Treaty is a treaty between India and Pakistan which is brokered by World Bank. So all three are signatories to this treaty. So disagreements over this have to be resolved. So World Bank now says that already there are presently disputes on hydroelectric projects which India is constructing on these rivers involved, Indus and its 5 tributaries. So here World Bank is saying that it has presently put a pause to these processes which have been initiated by India and Pakistan under the treaty, because they want the two nations to resolve their disagreements amicably. So don't put allegations on one another, but on your own you decide to coming together, and India and Pakistan should resolve their disputes rather than taking World Bank's intervention every time. So that is the World Bank's viewpoint right now. Then the next news item is Center to draft policies on ethanol, methanol. So the central government has said that it will come out with policies now on second generation ethanol and methanol. So these are non-conventional fuel resources. So if these are being used, then crude oil import bill of India will come down. It will come down by 1 lakh crore rupees. So a major chunk of our imports is crude oil. So our dependence on crude oil can reduce if we use these non-conventional sources of energy. Also, it will result in generation of employment. So this is also another factor for which it is important. So these are the biofuels. So bioethanol, biomethanol which are there. So here you can see first generation biofuels which have been there. So this is only giving you the 4 generations. The details here you can see in bioethanol production, for example, first generation was directly from these crops. So these are food crops only, sucrose containing feedstocks. So sugar beet, sugar cane, wheat, corn, all these starchy material and sucrose containing material were used to produce bioethanol. So that was first generation biofuels. Second generation biofuels are taking these lignocellulosic biomass. So that is wood, straw. So these are called grass. So these are second generation bioethanols. Third generation are using algal biomass. So that is called third generation. You can see this is biofuels from algae. or genetically modified vegetables. So this is third generation. And biofuels from genetically consumated vegetables is fourth generation biofuels. So this is the generations in biofuel development. So presently second generation biofuels would be looked into by India and a policy would come forth on it is the news. Then the next news item is SEBI to tighten algo trading rules. So this is regarding Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI. It is saying that it will tighten algo trading rules. Now what are these algo trading? It's algorithmic trading. Means software programs are used to execute trading strategies at much faster pace. So here in such cases, sometimes flash crashes also take place. So this has happened overseas and also in India. So in many countries, these are not allowed also, algorithmic trading. But India is one of the few countries in the world which regulates algorithmic trading. So this has been proudly stated by the present SEBI chief, UK Sinha. He's going to retire soon and his post will be taken over by another IAS officer. He is Mr. Ajay Tyagi. So here as an outgoing, he's going to retire soon. So he's saying that India regulates it and now we are planning to tighten algo trading rules. So algorithmic trading rules, for example, he says is high order to trade ratio penalty system is there. Means if there's a high order to trade ratio, then a penalty system is in place to make sure that algorithmic trading does not exceed the limit as such. So we are enhancing, he says, the penalty, whether it should be enhanced further. So that is being looked into now. So NSE National Stock Exchange has algo trade which accounts for close to 16% of all trade. Even in BSE it is around 8.56%. So that is algorithmic trading taking place to some extent in India. And another point which he said is that he regrets that he has during his tenure not even one InvIT or REIT was launched. So InvIT is Infrastructure Investment Trust and REIT is Real Estate Investment Trust. So what are these two? We'll look into. So these are actually multiple regulations are required. Means two or more regulatory bodies been involved. So such are the framework of these products. So what is REIT? We can understand. So REIT is an investment pool. So it's like alternative means of financing real estate are found. So if IPOs, initial public offerings are brought in, so people can buy REIT. So this REITs actually is something like a mutual fund. So a mutual fund that invests in bonds and shares, securities, this will not invest in them, but rather it would invest in buying, selling, renting, leasing property. And the income which is generated is distributed to the REIT holders on a regular basis. And another thing is that REIT as such would not be taxed. It would be free from taxes. Its income will not be taxed because 90% of the income which it generates is distributed to the shareholders. So that is how that then income in the hands of the shareholders is taxed. So this is the benefit of REIT also. So this has been put forth, but not a single REIT has been established. That is what the present SEBI chief says. Then the next news item is organ on a chip mimics the heart. So this is iWire heart on a chip. So this is a three-dimensional organ on a chip established. So it performs the same biochemical properties which the heart does. So that is how the studying of cardiac diseases can take place through this drug screening, where how the drugs will function, development of drugs can be helped, benefited through this heart on a chip. So that has been, this is a unique aspect that this is actually representing only 2 millions of a heart, human heart. So it's a small fraction of a human heart, but then it controls the mechanical forces applied to the cardiac cells. So it contains the cardiac cells and the mechanical force applied is such that it mimics the human heart. So then it can understand that how the reaction would be of these cardiac cells too. So this allows the researchers to reproduce the mechanical conditions of a living heart. So it is continuously stretching and contracting. So also electrical and biochemical environment is created for it. So how is it functioning will be understood so that further research can take place on heart, drugs, diseases, studying them, understanding them. So that takes place through this. So this is heart on a chip. So you can see it's mentioned here too actually that thin thread of human cardiac cells that is 0.014 inches thick is stretched between two perpendicular wire anchors. So this is what the iWire device consists of. So cardiac cells are involved and the tension of the fiber is varied. So it mimics the human heart. The cells mimic the human heart. So that is being studied now. Then the next news item is mapping dolphin proteins may benefit human health. So this is a project which has been undertaken to map all the proteins found in the dolphin genome. So what is a genome? Genome is a complete set of genetic material present in an organism. So to understand the genome, this is the genetic material. It's there encoded either in the DNA in higher organisms, and in many viruses it is in the RNA. So this is the hereditary information. So entire hereditary information all together is called a genome. So this genome comprises of both genes and non-coding sequences of the DNA. So to understand this statement, we should understand what is genes, what is DNA. So here you can understand in every cell there is a nucleus. In the nucleus there are these chromosomes. So these chromosomes actually are having DNAs. So it's made up of DNA. So you can see wound up with DNA. So this DNA has genetic information. So there are genes on this. So it has genes and non-coding sequences also on the DNA. So to understand this and map all this entire genes is called genetic sequencing. So that gene mapping takes place. So this gene mapping has already taken place for the dolphin. Presently what is being done is, so you can see the detailed map of bottlenose dolphin genome was first compiled in 2008. So this has already been done for this dolphin species. But the recent technological breakthroughs which have taken place, so with the help of that, a more exhaustive map can be produced. So that mapping would take place. So how proteins are produced, that information is there on the genetic information is required for that. So that is on the genes. So the proteins produced by the dolphin's DNA, a complete exhaustive map will be developed now. So that mapping of all proteins of the dolphin genome will take place. So this will help in understanding humans and the diseases which affect them, because there are many diseases which dolphins and humans share. So they are both mammals, though dolphins live underwater, but then there are number of proteins which our bodies also have. So we share the same number, large number of proteins, and also our bodies function in similar ways. So that is the reason why mapping of dolphin genomes proteins is taking place right now. So that is the news. An example is also given, like a protein say vannin-1. So this may help the marine mammals protect their kidneys. So this has been a recent study showing that vannin-1 helps in protecting kidneys. So if humans also produce vannin-1, but it's in much smaller amount. So if vannin-1 is present in dolphins and they help in protecting kidneys, so if the vannin-1 amount is increased in humans also, would it result in protection to kidneys? So researchers are looking into all such information and working on it. So this is one such example. There is many more such applications which are possible. Then the next news item is Mars may have a complicated mantle. So this is regarding a giant volcanic complex of Mars, Elysium, which is being studied. So this Elysium is the second largest volcanic complex on Mars behind the Olympus Mons. So that is the largest actually. So scientists are now studying this Elysium. Here it is saying that there is an unusual chemistry of lava flow around this volcanic province in Mars. Means what is there is that first the lava flow is remarkably young. So young means it is not as old as other regions, and also it is taking place in this northern lowlands of the planet, while other volcanic complexes are present in the southern highlands. So this is there, plus it is young, and the lava which has flown out is geochemically unusual. So that means lava flows out, it's coming from the mantle. So the crust, mantle, and the core, the way we have on the earth. So inner mantle, that is in liquid form. So from there the eruption comes out. So since it is geochemically different, so maybe different from the other regions or such. So that means that maybe mantle has changed over time, because this is a recent volcanic eruption. So what is this difference and how should it be accounted for is being studied presently. So this is important because humans want to go up to Mars. We are looking for human missions to Mars in the future, and also the metals which are present in the mantle. So all that can be understood through this. Also another point is that Earth's mantle has this plate tectonics theory, that there are various plates and they move on the mantle, liquid asthenosphere to be precise. So such plate tectonics aspect is not present on Mars. So that is also another aspect, that it has a little different history than Earth's mantle. So to understand it, the researchers are looking into further study on this region. So this is Elysium Mons here, and this is Olympus Mons, the largest volcanic complex on Mars. Then the next news item is spacecraft to fly near the sun next year. So this is the last news item. So this is regarding NASA's planned mission. It has planned its first robotic spacecraft to the sun. It's not going to the sun, but very close to the sun. It's called Solar Probe Plus. This will be launched next year. So it will go within 6 million kilometers of the sun. So sun's atmosphere. So this is to understand its atmosphere, because sun is actually, the distance from the earth is 149 million kilometers. So it will go up to 6 million kilometers close. So the mission will help us in understanding two major aspects, mysteries which are there with respect to the sun. So one is that the sun's photosphere. So photosphere, you can see, is the surface of the sun. So sun is also having the core where the nuclear fusion reaction is taking place and the entire energy is generated. Then this is the radiation zone beyond it. Then the convection zone, and this is the photosphere. Actually, it's a gas giant. So this is actually not a surface like a solid surface, but this is the lower atmosphere, you can see. So that is the photosphere. What we see, the surface of the sun which we see, is this photosphere. So beyond the photosphere, there is chromosphere. So this is the orange red layer, like the atmosphere of the sun. So this, and then the beyond that uppermost part is called the corona. So these are the layers of the sun too. So the mystery which is there is that the photosphere's temperature is lower than the chromosphere. Means if photosphere temperature is, say, according to NASA, it says the sun surface temperature, means photosphere temperature is 5,500 degrees Celsius. Then the chromosphere's temperature is around 2 million degrees Celsius. So how does, means as we move out, the temperature is increasing. So what is this mystery all about? Because as we move away from the core, it should be that the temperature should become lower and lower. It should be cooler. But rather it's the other way around. This is hot and the outer layer is hotter, not cooler. So that is been a mystery which the scientists seek to resolve through this Solar Probe Plus. And the other one is about the solar winds. So solar winds are also generated. So you can see this is the sun, the solar flares which come out, and this then result in the solar winds which even reach the Earth's surface. So Earth has its magnetic field around it. So Earth's magnetic field, so North Pole, South Pole are actually poles named because Earth has a magnetosphere. So this magnetic field protects us from the solar winds. So they are shifted, reflected as such. So this results in the magnetic shield helps us protect from them, and these solar flares, if they enter into solar winds which they enter into the Earth's atmosphere, the Earth enter here near the poles, North Pole and South Pole, where they are called Aurora Borealis in the North Pole and Aurora Australis. They are lightning in the sky. So they are very mild, not harmful at all. So that is how solar winds are also there. The mystery actually is that how the solar winds get their speed. So this is also needed to be resolved. So these two questions will be answered probably by this Solar Probe Plus which NASA is launching. So these are the news items for today. Thank you.